Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good people. Well, I am so excited for this new series that I am launching, which starts today, October 1st, and that is Breathe Sundays. Breathe Sundays. What are Breathe Sundays all about? Well, I'm glad that you asked. It is all about us becoming the best us for us. It is about you becoming the best you for you. And I figured, let me start on Sundays. Let me start on Sundays. So I want to get into it. First and foremost, I have to tell you all who I am, who I be, and how I show up in the world. And so my name is Dr. Obiama Martin, and I get to help thousands of women all over the globe show up and become their best versions of themselves. Now, I simply believe that if I can help you fall in love with you, number one, you are less likely to hurt me. And number two, you are more productive in the world. So it is my commitment and my passion to help you fall in love with you. Now, you may ask, now, how are you going to do that? Well, I do that through executive coaching one on one. I do that through group coaching. I also do that through my courses that are pre recorded and live, as well as my master classes, retreats, conferences, and workshops. And so there are many ways in which I get to help you do that. And also, I have books and guided spiritual 30-day journals. So that's a little bit about myself. Also, this is very important to me because this is something that I personally have struggled with throughout the years. And now I'm at the place where I can say authentically, I love me some me. I've learned how to love me unconditionally so that I can stop hurting me and also I can be a lot more productive in the world and show up in my authentic self. And that's really what I want for everybody. And so this show is really about helping you be the best version of yourself. And so on Sundays, I'll be sharing with you how I do that and sharing with you tips on how you can do that as well. So, our first lesson is all about how do we show up? How do we want to show up? So I'm asking you today, and I want you to write in the comments. Let this be interactive. I don't want it to be a monologue. You can talk back to me, you can ask me questions, but like, how do you do that? And for years, if I am 100% transparent with you, I really struggled with showing up, being my authentic self. I really struggled with, how to love me because I don't think that that's really taught. The Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. But how do you do that? How do you do that? Like what is the point of reference that you have, especially when you think you loving yourself, but you're not really loving yourself? Or my favorite, when you haven't been shown authentic love, when you have not been shown unconditional love. And so it's a conversation that I've been having with my colleagues and some of my very close friends, this love conversation. And what does love really looks like? Like, what does love feel like? And so is I want you to think about this from a five senses perspective. So what does it feel like? What does it feel like? What does loving you feel like for you? What does loving you, what does it sound like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? Think about that. As you engage in your five senses, really think about, what does love, authentic, unconditional love, love without any conditions. And that's something that I really had to learn. I had to learn how to love without any conditions. If this is resonating with you, I want you to just put in the chat, I either know how to love without conditions, or I'm learning how to love without conditions, or the only love I do know is how to love with conditions. So Let me unpack that for you a little bit. Loving with conditions. That means simply, I'm going to love you based on what you do for me. I'm going to love you based on how you show up for me. I'm going to love you based on how you make me feel. And when you don't make me feel the way that I want to feel, I ain't loving you. I have no love for you. If you don't do what I want you to do, I have no love for you. It's all of these conditions. Well, you do this, then I'll do this. You do that, then I'll do that. That's loving with conditions. And for many of us, that is the only way we know how to love. For years, I didn't know that that was the way that I was showing love with certain people. And so, as I begin this journey, I want to say about 5 years ago, of what does loving me really look like? What does loving me really feel like? And specifically during COVID in 2020, I had the opportunity to be still with myself. I had opportunities to really be present with my children like never before. COVID for some was horrific. So many people lost so many people. However, for me, COVID was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It was the opportunity for me to really discover who I be and who I want to be and who I was becoming. I didn't know that. If I can be honest with you, prior to COVID, I just was very much on this rat wheel. I was clocking in and clocking out. Everything about my life was very much rigid, programmed, and very controlled and out of control. If I can be honest, as I'm thinking about it. And so I kind of kept my head down. I was productive and I was profitable, but I kept my head down and I just worked and I worked day in and day out. And I didn't travel. I didn't have much of any fun. I didn't go out. I definitely wasn't laughing. I was so serious all the time. I was so serious all the time. And when I think about those times in my life, it's like, oh my God, I don't believe that I liked myself. I don't believe that I liked who I was and the life that I was living. I don't believe that I even knew what was possible. So during the time of COVID, I remember feeling like God shut down the world just for me, just for me. God shut down the world just for me so that I could be still, so that I could tap into the possibilities of me becoming a version that I had never met before. And for some of you, COVID did that. And for some of you, it didn't do that. But it put me on this journey. It put me on this journey of self discovery. It put me on this journey of, oh my God, there's a whole life out here that I get to live, that I get to explore. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And so I've been on this journey since, you know, COVID. And it's kind of started before COVID, but I couldn't do anything before COVID. But when COVID hit and the world shut down, my world became alive. Like my world opened up to me. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. And so it went from being amazing to amazing. And I stepped into all the wonderful things. And so this is when Amazing You Day was birthed, March 25th, which some of you don't know, of course, because some of you don't even know me. You haven't even heard of me. Amazing You Day, March 25th, became a national holiday. It became a day where I took a stand for me. I took a stand for you. I took a stand for all things that are beautiful and wonderful. And I said, can we have a day that is focused on unconditional self love, self forgiveness, healing, and random acts of kindness? COVID birthed that Amazing You Day, which also, of course, happens to be my birthday. And then I birthed wonderful retreats. This when the Breathe retreat came alive. This was December 2020 at the end of COVID. I gave birth to my first retreat, and it was simply we've been locked up for 9 months, 10 months. It's time to get out because COVID hit in March and we're now in December and things were just starting to open up and we couldn't go anywhere. We covered in masks and all the things. And I just reached out to some people and I was like, hey, like, let's do this. Let's kind of just have some time together and check in and build community. And so as a result of that, I get to host this beautiful annual retreat each year at the Aquaba Mansion in the Poconos. And Breathe is what I teach. It is the essence of who I've become and how I've learned to manage my emotions and show up each and every day as the best version of myself. And so Breathe Sundays is really about giving you the tips and the tools to add to your tool belt so that you can do what I've learned to do. And that is number one. The first letter in Breathe is believe. I had to learn, I am learning how to be the best version of myself by believing in me, by believing in the God that created me, by believing what's possible. The R is for release. I had to learn and practice how to release everything that no longer served me, people, places, and things. And can I tell you that it is a everyday action? It is not a one and done. The release is every day, every day. Toxic people, places, and things. It's a journey on this road to becoming. What happens when we don't release? We stay stuck. And the absence of releasing, just like we eliminate in our bodies, just like we urinate and we have bowel movements, is so that we can literally breathe, so everything on the inside of us can do what it was created to do. Well, that's what happens when we release toxic people, places, and things. It allows us to operate in the fullness of who we are and in the fullness of who we are becoming. E is for embrace. I am every day embracing who I am becoming. I am every day embracing the truth about who I am at my core. Every day I am embracing things that I didn't even know about myself. And every day I am embracing the root of my behavior so that I can release those things that don't serve me, that were a part of my core that I didn't know, that I no longer have to attach to, that no longer has to be a part of my story. And then the A, of course, is for acceptance. And you might ask, what is it that I need to accept? You, all of you, the flawed you, because we're all flawed. More importantly, after we accept the flawed us, the imperfect us, we have to accept others for the flawed them and who they be. We don't have to engage, we get to choose that. But there is an acceptance that has to happen at the root level. See, in order for us to love us unconditionally, In order for us to love others unconditionally, we have to first accept that we are flawed. And because we're flawed, we need to accept that other people are flawed as well. So, what that simply means is being able to withheld or withhold judgment. The Bible says that he who points the finger, four fingers are then pointed at them. And so, what I am practicing is not judging me. What I am practicing is not putting on the robe and becoming a judge, not sitting back as a juror and judging me, convicting me, crucifying me, and sentencing me. That's what I'm learning every day. And the more I learn not to do that for me, the easier it is not to do that for you. That's the acceptance part. And then the T. The T is about taking action. When we know better and when we are able to add more tools to our tool belt, we are then in a place to take action. There is accountability and responsibility that comes with every action. And if we want to experience what's possible, we must practice every day taking action, baby steps. I'm not asking you to eat the elephant whole, but what I am asking you to do is bit by bit, bite by bite, one step at a time, take action and stay in action. And then the H is for healing. We must heal from the inside out. Healing is the root work. Healing is the root work. Healing takes courageous action. It takes courageous action to touch the things that have appeared to be untouchable. It takes courageous action and tenacity to show up unapologetically and have uncomfortable, tough conversations. And so, in advance, I applaud you for that because it takes courage. But you're worth it and you are more than able. So, healing is the root work that we have to do. And then the E is for elevating your spirit, mind, soul, and body. And that is what Breathe Sundays are all about. And so I invite you to tune in every Sunday at 7:30 for a great dose of how to become the best you for you. This was our introduction. I am sending you love and light, looking forward to engaging with you, learning from you, and pouring into you. So I invite you every Sunday to join me right here. Come empty because I'm going to come full. Go to amazingyou.com if you want to learn more about me and my services and how I can help you become the best version of yourself. And remember to breathe on schedule. Peace.